Welcome to the Motivational Medium Podcast. I'm Anne-Marie Lord, a psychic medium, author, and the founder of the Motivational Medium Academy. On this podcast, we'll explore intriguing topics such as mediumship, psychic abilities, and the amazing idea that we all have intuition within us. Whether you're a believer, skeptic, or somewhere in between, get ready to unlock your extraordinary potential as we discover the supernatural world together. If you want your questions featured on the show, be sure to join my tribe by subscribing to my newsletter at annemarielord.com. Let's go. Hello, my friend. How are you going? I hope you're having an amazing day and I've had an amazing week. On this podcast today, I wanted to do a few readings. So let me try and explain this, because when I was on the radio station, people used to phone in and I used to do readings for people over the phone. It's a little bit more difficult over podcast. So I was wondering how I was going to do that. Now, when I do my live events, I get everybody in the second half to write questions down and I put them all in this big, huge bowl, glass bowl, and I pick out some of the questions and I try and answer the questions for the people that are in the audience using my angel cards and intuition. So what I do is I never throw them questions away. I always keep hold of them. So what I've decided to do today is I've decided to go through some of the questions that I got submitted at my last event, which was in November. And yeah, I'll use my angel cards to try and answer some of these questions. Now, I know some of you might think, well, I didn't go to the event, so my question isn't going to get answered. But I always believe that the vibration of questions or the vibration of answers get to the people that they're supposed to be given to. So if you've got a similar question or if you've got a similar situation going on in your life, then maybe listen to the guidance and the answers that will come through using the angel cards, and it just might help you make the right decision for you. Okay, so that's what I want to do today on today's podcast. But before we go and jump into some of these questions and answers, I also wanted to give you a little heads up. On episode 44, I think it was, or 45, I spoke about my skin cancer scare, and I wanted to let you all know about the journey that I had very quickly. So on that podcast episode, I spoke about my signs and how I felt quite calm and reassured seeing all them signs from not only my mum but also my Auntie May, and how I felt in my stomach that things were going to be okay. Even though when I went to the doctors, before he even done the biopsy, he said to me, I am convinced this is an SCC, so a squamous cell carcinoma, which it did look like. And he wanted to take a full excision there and then rather than a biopsy. And I had this strange feeling in my tummy that I didn't want that doing. So I asked him, would I be able to just have a biopsy instead, and then we'd take it from there and see what happened. He was quite reluctant to do this and kept saying to me, maybe it would be better just taking the full excision. And I persuaded him just to let me have the biopsy done. Anyway, I get the biopsy done and I went back for the results, like I explained. I still had this good feeling within my tummy. And when he came in to give me the results, he looked actually quite shocked. He said to me, Anne-Marie, it's not an SCC, a squamous cell carcinoma. He said, so it's not a cancer. He said, it's actually a keratosis. He said, you made the right call saying not to take the full excision and the full extent of the millimeters around the lesion. He said, otherwise you would have had a huge scar for a keratosis. So why I'm telling you this is because, one, I felt when my loved ones were around that things were going to be okay. I felt that quite strong. I also listen to my intuition. Now, I know a lot of you might say, but Anne-Marie, you listen to your intuition every day. It's so difficult for me to listen to my own intuition for myself. For you guys, it's quite easy because you're sort of a bit distant from that. But when it's for yourself, it's so hard because I call it your earth brain, but your conscious mind always wants to jump in to keep you safe. So my conscious mind would have wanted to jump in and say, he's the doctor, he knows what he's talking about, blah, blah, blah. And which he does. He's an amazing doctor. He was great at calling this for anyone who would have had this. It would have been a great call. But my gut instinct and my intuition and seeing the signs that I'd seen over the last days before this, I just had this gnawing feeling that it was okay. So I stuck with that, even though my earth brain was going, he's the professional, maybe we should get it going and get it done. I stuck with what I felt. And as it turns out, I've now got a tiny, weeny little scar instead of a big, huge scar right across the front of my chest because it was a keratosis. So what I'm saying to you, I suppose, is again, with your signs, when you get your signs, see how you feel. I'm not telling you to make a decision of not getting anything done in life. If you go to see a doctor or if you go to see someone and you feel like that, this doctor is right, and it is, and you feel that within your stomach, get guided. These guys are professionals. They know what they're talking about. I spent over 30 years in nursing, so I am not against Western medicine or common medicine. I spent a lot of my life in that area. My thing is, this isn't to judge anyone from the medical professional. My thing is to get you guys to listen to your gut instinct. And your gut instinct, it won't ever let you down. All right, I felt a little bit nervous and I felt a little bit scared. Who wouldn't? I'm human. But I had this overwhelming feeling that it was going to be okay. Even when he told me, Anne-Marie, it looks like a cancer, and let's get it all out. No. Okay, so listen to your gut instinct because it won't let you down, and massively watch for your signs. The angels will always be around you. Your angels are always around you. Okay, so I wanted to give you a little heads up on that. So I am great. I am well. I've got a tiny little scar where a big one could have been, and I am happy I made the decision I made. But that is me. I went by my gut instinct. Okay. So you listen to your gut instinct as well. All right. Now I want to go through some of these questions that I get asked at my live events. Now, when this goes out, I have got a live event tomorrow, but when this goes out, the live event will have already been done. So if you've been to my second live event in February the 15th, then watch out because I don't get rid of any of the questions. I keep all of the questions and I'll go through them over time on my podcast. So let's look at some of the questions that we got today and let's use my angel cards to get people some guidance. So a lady sent this out in the November live event and her name is Anne, and she sent this little question: am I on the right path for my career and will it be successful within it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some cards and I'm going to have a little look. So this question is all about career and success and making the right decisions. So the first card I got for there is put down your burdens. So our fear sometimes can keep us in a safe place. If we walk into fear and take chances, then the chances are we will be more successful. Success comes from taking chances. We never lose in this game of life. I don't believe anyway. I always believe we either learn or we succeed. So if we've got two positives coming out of this, either learning or succeeding, then why wouldn't you take a chance? So for Anne, who asked the question, am I on the right path for my career and will I be successful within it? She will, as long as she takes the opportunity. So there might be a promotion or there might be an opportunity come within this. And I don't want you to let fear hold you back. Now, also what I'm picking up is the first opportunity. You mightn't actually get that first opportunity. So I feel like it's like a dry run, if you like. So there might be an opportunity for a promotion there or an opportunity for growth. And I feel like the first time mightn't be successful. Now, this isn't me saying to you, don't go for that first opportunity, because I feel like we've got learnings to gain in that. So I feel like the learnings will be, how would the interview go? What was the questions asked? That kind of opportunity. So always remember, you never lose in this game. You always learn or you succeed. So for you, Anne, I feel like there's an opportunity there that's coming. And I feel like the first opportunity might not be successful, but it's there for a purpose. And I feel like it's there for learning. So you are on the right path. I do believe that your career will be successful, but I do believe there's chances that you're going to have to take. And I want you to remember this, because I want you to remember that the first one mightn't be successful. It's just a learning curve, okay? And then we go on for success. So I hope that helps with you, okay? Oh, just before I move forward, I also want to say to you, sometimes the path to where we're supposed to be is not an easy journey, okay? And this goes out for everybody, really. If you're looking for an easy path or an easy alternative, sometimes our learnings and our best strength that is developed within us is done while on our hardest paths. I hope that makes sense. So sometimes when things look a bit hard for us or things feel a bit hard for us, it doesn't mean we're on the wrong path. It just means take the learnings and this will help you with the success. So I hope that one all makes sense. Now we've got another lady and her name's Louise, and she sent me a message in our November event and it said, will I own my own home again? So, you've got cards that are jumping out here, Louise. Wow. And one of the first cards is top of the shop, strength. Okay, so is this actually viable? Can we do this? Absolutely, you can do this, okay? You've got the strength, you've got the knowledge, you've got the courage, you've got the determination. I feel massive power around this, okay? So, yeah, the little voice in the back of your head saying, will I own my own home? That shouldn't even be listened to, okay? Because you've got a bigger picture here. You've got all the tools and strategies that you need. Now, saying that about all the tools and strategies, there's another couple of cards that come out. One of them is about changing path a little bit. So the path that you're on at the moment, or the career that you're on at the moment, I feel like it's in helping other people. I also feel like there's a little turn here. So what you think you might be doing to look after and help other people might change, because you also got the birth of new ideas. Now, I feel like that's towards the end of 2025. And I feel quite positive within this. I feel like it will maybe come out the blue. So it's nothing that you really, I feel like you've got all balloons up in the air. So there's lots of different modalities, shall I say, that you can be looking at. But one of them is going to sort of drop down in your lap. You're going to give birth to this and it's going to be hugely successful. So I know your question was, will I own my own home? However, as I always say to my clients who come to see me in readings, if I see something good for you, I won't just tell you that you're going to own your own home. I also want to give you guidance on how to get there. So you've got the tools and the strength and the courage and the power already within you. I feel like Dorothy off the Wizard of Oz. Just want you to click your heels, my friend, because I feel like you've known this journey all along and it's going to be hugely successful for you. So yeah, watch how subtle it comes in as well. Because even though I said one of the balloons will fall down into your lap, I feel like it will gently come. It's not going to be a big thud, big eye opener, what we all wait for. It's going to come in really subtly, really gently. And yeah, it's going to be hugely successful. Also, this is for everybody, this. You know, sometimes we look at on our journey, and I done the same with Reiki. We look at the journey and because we love stuff, we try to do everything, like I was teaching Reiki, and I love Reiki, and I still use a lot of it within my own life. However, teaching Reiki and performing Reiki with clients, I felt was not my main thing that I should be doing. I felt it was intuitive guidance and mediumship and motivational mediumship. And once I stepped into that power, then the energy changes. And the same for you, Louise. And goes for everybody. If you're trying to dip your toe in all different things, then I want you to look at them. And I want you to think, okay, which one am I energetically really drawn to? Because within this journey of life and within this journey of building a successful career and a business, and if yours is a spiritual practice like mine is, sometimes you have to drop a few diamonds. We can't keep everything up afloat because you just get tired, you get burnt out, and you're not stepping into the place where you should be 100%. So, my friends, if you're listening to this and you've got a lot of balloons in the air, then I want you to feel which balloon you are really drawn to, because you may have to drop some diamonds to get to where you need to be. You can pick them up if you like later on down the track if things change. But I feel very strongly that to get where we've got to be, we've got to focus 100% in that area. And that's where your diamond is when you drop a few of your diamonds that you don't feel energetically connected to, if that makes sense. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Will you get your own home? Absolutely. I feel like the beginning of 2026 has got a big, massive significance for you. So hang on in there, okay? Don't jump into anything rationally. And yeah, invite me to the housewarming. Have a great day. So what else have we got, my friend? Okay. Now, this is from a lady. Now, this podcast goes out to a lot of people all over the world. So this lady attended my seminar in November, my live mediumship event in November. So I'm just going to give her initial. I'm not going to give her name because it's quite a private thing. Her initial is J. And she talks about, will my relationship with my son be repaired? Now, the cards I picked for you, my lovely friend, was balance restored and resolution. Now, the card that I picked for this is coming together quite slow, and both of you feel very guarded in letting your energies totally down. Now, this could come from a place of pain. It could come from a place of hate. It could come from a place of past hates and being let down in the past. But I want you to come to this. Well, I can't tell you what to do, but what I would say is what I see is that there's a coming back together. It's very slow, but there's a lot of God going on here, a lot of guarding of your own energies and not feeling very secure within this first journey. I feel like you're going to have to let the judgment and let the past go, and then the journey will build itself again. Mel Robinson talks about in her new book, The Let Them Theory, she talks about let them. And in the first part of the book, she talks about let them. So let people get on with what they want to do and let them live their own life. But then she talks about and let me, so when we say about let them, we sort of have this stand back feeling. Well, I did in the beginning when I read the very first chapter of the book. Brilliant book, by the way. So if you haven't read it, please jump in and read it. Let Them, it's called, by Mel Robbins. Anyway, she talks about let them. And I've done this in the past. I've let them. So I've actually let them get on their own life, but I've stood back. Now that can become quite isolating, because then you start to stand back. Now, if you do that with a lot of people who cause you any kind of discomfort, you're isolating yourself quite a lot. So when she talks a little bit about the let me, that means, what do I want to do? Who am I? Stand up within your power. So even though you guys are going to come together, and this could be for anybody out there who's thinking about repairing a relationship, it's not about letting that person be the way they are to you that will cause you hatefulness. It's about showing up and showing them, no, this is not acceptable, but I'm willing to love you more than this situation, and we can get through this. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. There's going to be a jumping in of this, so it's going to happen quite quickly, but then it comes in very, very slowly, if that makes sense. So the connection itself is going to happen quite quick, but then the coming together is going to be quite slow. Okay, so I'm very guarded. I feel like the two of you are very guarded, but I do feel there's a lot of love still in there. And I feel like if you can be honest, not overcover anything, not like just plaster over the cracks. If you can be honest and say, you know, that was quite hateful, but I love you more than the hate, then that can be mended. So I hope that helps. I do feel like there's getting mended in there. Now, I'll just do one more before we have to wrap up. I hope everybody is listening to this message, because there was a lady called Paula, and she talked about, is Jordan with Dad? Now, she came to see me in my last event. This is another question from November. And I want to say to you straight away, absolutely. When we go to the spirit world, now I've got no guarantees over this, but I can only share with you what spirit shows me. When we go to the spirit world, our ego and our stresses and even some of our problems that we had here, maybe even people that we didn't speak to or anything like that. I'm not saying this was the case here, but this is for everybody as well. That all gets dissolved. You know, we have a lot of learnings when we go to the spirit world. We don't have our ego. We have a review, and it's not a judgmental review like we call it a review down here. It's more of a like, okay, you know, that worked, and, you know, this is how you lived your life, that kind of thing. But one thing I do know from doing past life regression stuff and some therapies in the past is that when we go to the spirit world, our energies, if you can imagine these balls of energies, we all come together. So your loved ones in spirit, you will get to see them again. You just have to come to them and they come to us. And it's the right time. When the right time is right and it's our time to go to the spirit world, then that's when we will meet up with each other. You know, what spirit shows me is that we all connect together again when we go to the spirit world. Okay? We learn our lessons. It's non-judgmental. But what spirit does also show me is that, and I've seen this so many times, when they go to the spirit world, especially if a person's life has been cut short or they've passed early or, you know, they didn't live a long life, then they get to come and see us and they enjoy the journey that we're going on. And especially traveling, if someone's gone to the spirit world and they love to travel or they wanted to go traveling and never got the chance, they always talk about how they love to see what we're doing. I had a lady come to see me last week, and Paula, I'll get back to this for you in a minute. I hope this is all making sense. But I had a lady come to see me last week, and her son came through and he was talking so much about traveling and how he loved to travel. And he mentioned Japan. And he was quite excited about Japan. And it turned out that his twin was actually in Japan, or she'd just been to Japan. I can't quite remember. And he was so excited to continue the journey where everybody else was going. And then he said, and I will see you all again when your time is the time to come here. You know, so please know that our loved ones in spirit show me. And I've got no proof for this or no guarantees. I've got validation through readings that I do. But, you know, I'm a strong believer that they see us. And when we get to be free and live our lives and enjoy ourselves, they actually get to do this with us. So please don't ever feel guilty for smiling again or enjoying your life again or having some fun again or getting some beautiful heart growth from new members of families that are born into families when we've lost someone to the spirit world, because spirit want us to do that. Spirit live and see and enjoy life through us. So enjoy your time here. You know, it's not very long, it's short. It can be absolutely exciting and sometimes it can be hard. But what they show us is enjoy your life. You know, this journey is a journey and they will see us one day when we get there. Just not right now. Okay, so Paula, I hope you got something from that as well. So is Jordan with Dad? Yeah, we all get to see our loved ones again one day. But when the time is right, you know, and in the meantime, live your life, enjoy your life, celebrate, go traveling if you can, you know, enjoy this journey we call life. Sometimes we make it harder than it is. And sometimes life throws some things at us that makes it hard. But please know your loved ones in spirit are always with you. They will show you signs, as I always talk about the signs, and enjoy the journey and give them a little hello. You know, keep speaking to them if you speak to them. You're not mad. Well, if you are, so am I. But, you know, keep your connection and they will show you the signs to let you know that they're still very much around. If you come and see me at one of the live events, then please submit a question and know that if the question doesn't get answered at one of the live events, it just might get answered on the podcast. My friends, I've loved today's podcast. I hope you've got something from it. I love our connections on these podcasts, and also I love the emails that you send me, and I love it when you come to see me at live events or even one-to-one sessions. So wherever you are in the world, I wish you well, and I'm sending lots and lots of love, my friend. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this show. It's important to note that while I'm here to inspire, encourage and guide you, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist or a doctor. Join me again in 2 weeks for more captivating revelations on the supernatural. Remember to be in with a chance to have your questions answered on the podcast. Subscribe to my newsletter at AnneMarieLord.com. Stay in the tribe to vibe. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.